Yo, so the fifth and final issue of The Last Ronin came out yesterday, and in honor of this, since I already made 2 Last Ronin figures over a year ago when the first and second issue came out, I wanted to do another one. My first one was a 4-inch 2012 turtle. The second was a 5-inch 2003 turtle, so this one's gonna be a 6-inch 1987 turtle. Let's do it. So when I saw this guy, he's from the, what's it called? Karate Kid Cobra Kai. With the black bandana and the black nunchucks, I thought he's perfect to be the Last Ronin, so that's why I really wanted to grab him. And I thought he has this, like, gi thing. I can use that as a template to make my robe and make a better robe than I've made before. And it was looking like it was going to go that way. I have this hood design shape that I made to fit over, and I'm just cutting out the armholes to test it, and then I did separate arms. But before that, I'm going to cover him all with a matte acrylic varnish, and you can find it and most of the other materials I use in the Amazon affiliate links down below. Then I want to give him some age and some wrinkles on his head, so I'm using spackling to add some little details there. And just spreading a little bit on, I just wanted to add like a little bit of like lines and wrinkles and bumps and definition to his face, and I would go on the bottom of his chin there a little bit. It's coming along. I also made a template for pants, but while I was doing that work, these pictures came out and there was a 5-issue preview of the episode, so that totally changed my design. Now he's gonna be wearing like a onesie or but overalls and shorts, but all one. And instead, so I'm not gonna do the jacket and hood anymore. So he's going to be really different than the other ones. Now I'm just using a knife to carefully scar and damage his shell. Carefully, because I don't want to stab myself. Now I'm marking off where the top of the overalls is going to be, and I'm making that with spackling. And just spreading a little bit so that it covers and looks like fabric on top of his shell there. And that's what he's going to look like, hopefully. I want to give some damage to this front shell. I should have done this earlier, but I do it now because things change. I thought he was going to be covered. Now I'm filling in. I drew out the back of the overalls, and I fill that in on his shells to make it look like fabric. So I'm not trying to do a perfectly smooth job. I want it kind of wavy, and that's the Neca, because I made mine over a year ago, my first 2. Now the toy company has finally caught up to me, and they made theirs, so that's why I first wanted to make a new one, because I was like, yeah, I think I can do it better. They have their topless guy, but he's still got the bottom of his gi, but no top of his gi, just under the belt. I think they just didn't want to do new legs or whatever sculpt, so that was weird. I don't know why they did that, and I thought I could do better. So now I'm just, I'm trying to match pretty much the color that he already is. It's a hunter green, just covering up all the spackling. And then later I'm going to dry brush a leaf green to make him pop out more and be a lighter color like in these pictures. But before that, I'm going another coat of the matte varnish on anywhere that I painted, or even on the spackling to help it or stop it from absorbing all the paint. Now I have these 2 little squares I cut out of 2mm foam, and those are the pockets on his overalls. Now, give some more color to his shell. I have a raw sienna, and I'm just gently covering his shell, but still leaving a little uneven and a little of the other color showing through. Now I'm on to dry brushing leaf green. This is gonna bring out all the details. I'm not trying to cover everywhere perfectly. That's like dry brushing, just dabbing a little onto the brush and then a little onto the paper towel, so just a little bit goes on, and then I can keep the darker green and some of the details, and some of the spots it'll just look like He has different colors on his skin, and he's aged and got some marks and old scars or whatever. And I'm just covering lightly everywhere with this leaf green to bring out all the details, and then you'll see the details from the head because it's darker underneath where I made all the wrinkles and stuff. Onto the paint for the overalls, I just mixed a dark green, I think it was a peacock blue or Copenhagen blue with some black, till I got about the color that I want to match the reference images. So that's the first coat, and then I saw it's a little too ripply, and I want to smooth it out a bit. There were some bumps that were too high, some spots that were too low, so it didn't look like cloth, really. Now I'm dry brushing a little bit of cinnamon brown to bring out all the details that I added to the chest, and plus details that were already there. So it's just a little bit of the cinnamon brown. Now he needs the straps for his overalls, and that's a suede lace. And I'm painting it black. I have black, but it's thinner, and I wanted to use this thick one, so I painted it. Now I'm adding a little bit of black paint to his mask just to make it match everything. So, because otherwise it would have a different shine and texture if I just left it the way it was. And now I went with the darker dark blue to cover the overalls this second time because I had the more spackling. Now I'm going for a lighter dark blue, and I'm going to dry brush it on to the overalls and just bring out all the details more instead of having all one medium dark blue. I have the dark blue and the light dark blue, and it makes everything pop out. Then I moved to his pads, elbow and knee pads. That was a Nickel gold. I like it because it's just a random paint I have, and it looks like leather when it's finished. And I do another coat of that, and I put a little cinnamon brown on his shell, and now a little of that Nickel gold on his shell to just give some depth and detail to his shell and bring out the scars that I had added. Now the paint's all done. I cover everything with a clear coat of matte varnish, and I had these little mini buckles that I put on his straps as well. Now I have hockey tape. It's a white hockey stick tape, and I love this for just making like wraps or just little bits of material. And in the picture he's got all kinds of little white bandages on, so I cut a bunch of those and I wrapped around his arms and his legs, and I gave a little more than in that picture because I took a little reference from the other pictures where he's fully in the gear and he's got more wraps on. I thought it would make him look cooler. And also he has a mask on, but in the picture he doesn't have a mask, so I was like, why not? He's just starting to put on his clothes. But I also saw that he needs weapons, but he doesn't have anywhere to put them without the jacket on. So I painted up a sai, and I gave him a little loop to hold his nunchucks there. And that's what he looks like. I'm going to put some pictures of the other two guys that I did. They were kind of in the background while I was working. And tell me which one you like the best. This one's from issue 5, straight from the pages. And the other two were from issue 1 and 2 for my reference. And I did a poll recently to see who was your favorite other than Ninja Turtles, like franchise. And Marvel won, which is good, but just good because it was a tie for a while. And then I didn't know what I was going to do. But then a couple other people voted, and Marvel's the winner. So I have a guy I'm going to do. He's green, and he's a villain. And that'll be in a few weeks. But until then, or until next week, I'm going to do something. I do something every week. Always keep your head up. Peace. And thanks for voting for everyone who voted. Peace.